And so then so we talked about body image. Now, kind of what is the relationship between like body image and dieting behavior?
Well, I mean, I guess the obvious relation is if you don't like your body because you think you should look a certain way, dieting and exercise is usually what people go to. I mean, extreme, maybe it's liposuction or some kind of surgery or butt lift, but dieting is usually the first thing because it's simple. Okay, I can just cut my calories, eat something different, and then I'll lose the weight. So I think it's you don't like your body, so the first thing you think is I have to diet and restrict myself, and then I'll like my body. But it doesn't actually usually work that way.
Okay. And then, what are some of the, main reasons why people will eat when they're, truly not physically hungry?
Yeah, so that's my big passion is because for me, a lot of my life was spent eating out of emotional reasons. So it wasn't because I was hungry, it was because I was, angry or because I was really sad or because I was really stressed or I just wasn't doing anything in the day to take care of myself and my soul. So all I really had for comfort was food. So for myself and a lot of my clients, especially my women clients, I'd say about 50% of women, I don't know about men because I only really work with women, but eat for reasons other than physical hunger. And there's a really simple test you can do. If you're about to eat a meal or snack, ask yourself if you're hungry enough to eat a cup of broccoli. And if the answer is no, you're probably not physically hungry. You're probably bored or angry or tired or lonely or whatever. But if you want to lose weight without dieting, getting a handle on the emotional eating is a huge, huge game changer. So the broccoli test works well for me because I don't really love broccoli. Maybe you love it, Rick.
I don't mind broccoli. I'm kind of thinking like, what's healthy that I really don't like to
Yeah,
eat?
that's
It
good.
might be raw Brussels sprouts. That might be it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I like
Have
raw
to be
Brussels
really
sprouts.
hungry to want that.
No. so so then kind of looking at, what would be some, tips that you can give people to kind of start. Let's say they have a negative body image, they're really focused on the scale, they don't really like who they see. When they see themselves in the mirror or weigh themselves, they start getting into this negative mindset. What are some ways that we can kind of start loving or even liking ourselves, even though we might not be, perfect or where we want to be?
Yeah, well, I really think it's a very conscious choice. A lot of people like have a ton of extra weight that they're carrying around, and that's not comfortable. And maybe for them that doesn't look good. But if all they do, I was saying this earlier, if all they do is complain about it and focus on what they hate, I believe the universe always brings you what you focus on. So if you focus on your big belly that you hate and your triceps that are sagging and your big butt, you're just going to keep getting more of that. So the best thing to do is shift it and say a few things you like about yourself, and then, I want to be able to walk on the beach in February and just in Hawaii and not have my arms jiggle as I walk. That's an awesome goal. Instead of saying, I hate my triceps, so I'm going to suffer in the gym and I'm going to starve myself. That's not a positive goal. So I think shifting things so that you're focusing on what you do want instead of what you don't want, that's huge. Giving yourself some compassion, talking to yourself like you would your best friend or your kid. Some of the things I say to myself and my clients say to themselves, it's shocking. Like if you just kept track of the things you said to yourself for the first 10 minutes of your day, most people would be pretty shocked. So, I mean, Rick, I think you're a pretty positive guy. I don't think you're 80% negative, but what the stats are showing. So you have to literally work on it every day. Even Tony Robbins says he has to cultivate positive self-thoughts every day or else he will go down a negative spiral. So even the most positive, inspiring people in the world have to work on it every day. So look in the mirror, fake it till you make it, tell yourself something, one thing, if it's only one thing you love about yourself, and start there. Don't try to change everything overnight because then your mind will say, I don't want to go there, and it'll sabotage you. But you have to slowly start building up your self-belief and your self-love, one step at a time. Affirmations in your phone, just a reminder in your iPhone twice a day that says, you know, this one says I crush out 10 pull-ups easily. This is one I'm working on, but literally every 10 minutes or so, I have a little pop-up of something motivational, inspiring. So instead of just getting news or text messages, I'm also getting positive affirmations.
Oh,
So those are a few things you could do.
that's cool. That's cool. I know like two things, like, you know, when I kind of reflected on and I kind of reflected on my eating habits, I saw that I was drinking like way too much wine. I enjoy wine, I like wine, but I was getting through the wine way too much. And what I found was, and this was kind of going to the behavior side of things, the reason why I was drinking the wine was because I was dehydrated. I was thirsty. So my body craved the first thing that was in front of me, which was the wine. So when I started drinking, let's say a glass or two of water, my desire for the wine decreased and my alcohol consumption decreased, decreased quite quickly. So it's interesting when you kind of look and, think why you're eating this certain thing or why, why you're consuming this. It might be, kind of a different reason why. And I find that with, I don't know, with me with alcohol, a lot of times it's just I'm dehydrated. So I'll have a glass or two and that kind of subsides my desire for the alcohol.
And you live in wine country, so
yeah, it's like 100 wineries and 50 or 80 miles around. It's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah. And then talking about that positive attitude thing, and maybe I just do it subconsciously, but I know when I was a kid, and 6 o'clock. I mean, you're in Canada. You're probably the same way. 6 o'clock, we'd watch the news. It always happened. My parents, we would turn the news on and we watch news for an hour. And the first 15 minutes of news, it just depresses you. There's just no way of feeling good after watching the first 15 minutes of news. So, just like you were talking about, I like to be in a positive environment to try to create my little positive bubble. So I'll do what I can to eliminate, the negative. And a big part was just cutting out the news. And a lot of times they say, well, you're going to miss something important. Usually you don't miss something important. Usually if it's that important, someone will tell you, or secondly, or you'll see it on Facebook. So that ends up being another big one, just trying to be in a positive environment. It'll help your life just so much in many ways, and body image and everything.
Yeah, I agree. We don't watch the news. Like, it's just like you said, you're always going to hear if there's something earth-shattering going on, but it's always funny on a slow news night. That's the only night you'll see positive stories. But if there's anything negative to talk about, that's what people watch, because something about human nature likes to see that our lives are better than someone else. It's kind of sad, but it's true. But yeah, unless you're going to really go out and do something positive after you watch the news, what's the point of knowing every sad thing that's going on? I believe in social justice and volunteering and donating money and those kind of things, but I don't need to watch the news every night to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And then, I mean, I used to listen to talk radio all the time, and that same thing. It's like news all the time. It would put you in a negative mindset, and it would affect your life in many ways. So I've cut that out as well. And I was used to listen to sports radio, but since the Vancouver Canucks are just doing so horrible, it's depressing as well. Listening to that as well. So it's like upbeat music. I listen to upbeat music.
Perfect. Or audiobooks. I like doing that.
Yeah, I do. I've been getting into a routine of, there's a lot of times like you do kind of like low level brain function computer stuff. And when I'm doing those things, I'll usually listen to some sort of audiobook, or when I go I'll either do my training, like learning new stuff, or I'll listen to an audiobook. When I'm walking. I like biographies. I think those are the best. I like hearing people's stories.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've gone through all my questions. Is there anything that I didn't ask you, or is there anything that you want to leave people with when it comes to, a thought or an idea or tips?
Yeah, well, I mean, body image wise, I think we've covered it pretty extensively. I just always like to really encourage people to find a way of eating that's going to work for your whole life. Unfortunately, diets don't work. That's the reality. Research shows 98% of dieters gain back all the weight they lost within a year. So I just really, really encourage you to find a way of eating that works for you. Respect your body enough to eat clean. I don't believe in restriction. I don't believe in following a meal plan. I don't believe in doing things because you should eat them. But before you eat, just ask yourself, is this going to nourish my body? And if it's a no, then maybe think twice about it. But don't, guilting and shaming, we've done that long enough. So you don't need to guilt and shame yourself, but just get to the point where you love your body and you love your life enough that you want to eat the right foods because it makes you feel good. So that's what I really want to empower people. Life's too short to go through and hate your body and feel like junk. So eat clean because you love your body. Realize that body image stuff, it's all up here. It's not even about your body. It's all in your head. So decide consciously to really, really cultivate that positive image of yourself every single day. There's so many ways to do it, like we talked about, but one step at a time.
Yeah, exactly. And I know, like, going back to the social media side of things, everyone shows the perfect side of their lives and no one's perfect. I mean, I try to kind of focus on, every day trying to get a little bit better or try to work towards the goal or what, what I want to become in, every day in a slow way. And before you know it, you're there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the only way to success.
Yeah.
Success. I mean, yes, there's massive action and all those great things, but I believe slow incremental action consistently every day is really the way to transform your life. So, yeah.
Awesome. Now, Charmaine, where can people get more information about you?
Yeah, I've got a website, www.charmaineironside.com, and a little bit more about me. I've got some free giveaways on there, and then I have a 21-day course called Freedom and Fat Loss. So it's to really ditch the diets and find a healthy way of eating for life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Charmaine, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. That was fun.
No problem.
Love to talk to you.
Awesome. And thank you very much, everyone at exercisesforinjuries.com. I hope you enjoyed this interview. Now, make sure to swing by exercisesforinjuries.com, enter in your injury or pain. There's a good chance I have an article, video, or an interview for you. Also, if you have another idea of someone else that I should interview that would help you or everyone that watches, listens, or reads exercisesforinjuries.com, please contact me at the little contact button at exercisesforinjuries.com. So this is Rick Caselge with Charmaine saying take care and bye-bye.